Friday, and it's Real Talk.
I was walking down the road today, looking for another way to ease my mind and help my living.
Brian's on. I love it. It's Real Talk. It's the daily vlog designed to help you make smarter moves. And I got my buddy Brian on with me, which is awesome. And Brian, I've been trying to get on the air with me for a while. We're going to do that soon. And I'm so excited you're on Instagram, my friend, because you've been missing some really great shows over here. And I'm hoping that everybody who's been popping on pops on right now, because it gets into this thing where we're like chatting and they're asking questions. And then all of a sudden we're like in conversations, and I've been loving that. And I just want to share what I was telling Brian over on Facebook to all of you over here on Real Talk. So I today recorded my first actual interview. There he is. Scott, what's up, brother? I recorded my first interview on Mark Pires Real Talk live, like in studio. And the only thing that I regret, and I knew this when I started it, Meredith, when she said, look, I don't feel comfortable going live. I don't want to film this. She used to be on TV. She was a reporter. So I'm like, okay, we're going to film this. She goes, you know what? Let me just do the first podcast to see how it goes. And I've just always had these intuitions, these feelings. This intuition was telling me we're going to get something good. And what do you know? Hey, what's up, Beba? How are you? What do you know? This was such a good podcast. And Meredith is such a positive light in this world. And she runs a life coaching business called Go to Meredith. And Meredith has been a very good friend of my wife and mine for a couple of years now. And every time I get together with her, we build this energy that's just like what happened today. Oh, Rebecca's on. This is so cool. All right, guys, now this is official. Brian, I was telling you, when it gets going, it gets crazy over here. Now, guys, tonight I got the GigBox with me. So we're going to maybe get some music going, but it's just been a really exciting day. Rebecca, I was just saying, I recorded my first interview today on my podcast, and I had a life coach on. Meredith Coburn came on, and we just built this energy that was unbelievable. And you know, when I get people on and we start like finishing each other's sentences, and the excitement is drawing us towards that next topic, that happens so many times today. And what started out with the intention of being a 10 or 15 minute interview turned out to 54 minutes where we just let that thing bubble. And every time she would hit me with something, I was like, okay, I'm thinking of something else now. And I love this now. That's my favorite thing about the Real Talk program is we're starting to interview, we're starting to get people on, and we're taking this thing where it needs to go, where reality needs it to go. I just went through the entire process. And yesterday when I had Brad on and from Nova Scotia, which was such a cool experience for me because of my complete addiction to the Curse of Oak Island. And he lives 15 minutes from the road that takes him to Oak Island. So I'm like, man, I just wish I could go up and see Brad and just drive up and see the Lagina brothers in Nova Scotia. So anyway, but what I'm getting from all of this is that we have a job here to do, and it's to help this world. And these conversations are taking just on a world of their own. They're taking on a mind of their own. And I like that. Being unscripted to me is what life is about. Every time I've ever dealt with anything in my life, you have to come with what's here. If you start trying to sugarcoat, you are in trouble. Life is about hitting people with the truth. And you know what? You get places that way. You only get places when you hit people with the truth. So anyway, that's how I feel about this podcast. I had an opportunity to get someone who does that, who's been doing that for a while. And the fact that we were able to build this energy together, it was just really, really cool. And I'm looking forward to doing it again. I'm actually thinking every month we're going to have to do a Real Talk with Meredith. And when you hear this episode, you'll be like, you know what? Maybe you guys should do the show together, because the parallel of having a guy and a girl both with a passion for positivity was a really cool thing to have happen. And I just wish I filmed it. That's it. I told her from the beginning, I said, look, just let me film it. And if nothing good comes out, we'll just toss it. And I knew it was going to be gold. I mean, I'm kicking myself that I have no footage of this. I just have audio. And when you hear it, you're going to say, hey, it would have been pretty cool to see that. But next time we're going to film it. And I told her, maybe we should do it live the way I like to go. That's kind of be pretty cool if I was sitting here and Meredith was right next to me and we were just having our conversation and we were going into what we did today. And what I got and what I loved about the stuff that she was talking to me about today is things I'm not doing with my business yet, what I'm not doing with Real Talk yet. You know, affirmations and vision boards. She had a great idea. You should do a vision board on the GigBox. Call it a vision box. How cool would that be? And I started thinking to myself, maybe I should do a vision box of everything I expect this show, or where I know this show is going. Everything that I see for this show and where I'm going to affirm it and put it all in this box here. And then maybe we'll sell it as a special edition GigBox. I don't know. And then I started thinking, Meredith started saying, yeah, and then you could have artists do one. Imagine John Mayer doing his own vision box. And that's a pretty cool idea. Just creating a vision board on a GigBox and all the panels. And you could have past, present, future. It's really a cool idea that Meredith had. The other thing that I noticed and I picked up when I was sitting down with her is because she threw out a couple of really great ideas about like public speaking, getting out there and maybe instead of just being on here, somehow get out there and start doing some of this live, which is just what my goal has been the whole time. I just don't know how to get from A to Z. If anybody knows, if you have a gig you want me to go and do, let me know. But in general, she said, you have to start thinking bigger than you're thinking right now. If you want to, you got to get out there. You got to get in front of people because honestly, I keep telling you, I'm building all this energy alone in a room. I'm completely alone in this room. And I just keep imagining that moment where we're sitting together and you're feeding me energy. Like personally, I'm feeling your energy coming at me. That's going to take on some sort of new feeling for all of us. I remember how I used to feel when I was playing for a crowd. And it was always just an exhilarating experience. And that's why I did it for 10 years, is I loved that feeling of being in front of people and performing and singing. I used to say there's moments, and you'll hear me doing this on the GigBox sometimes. There are moments where the spirit is coming out of you. There's a passion coming out of you. The moment is so strong coming out of you. And, that only happens when you're totally comfortable. And I do remember I wasn't very comfortable in between songs when I used to play. And I made a statement the other day that wasn't correct. I realized that afterwards. I said that in between I'd get really uncomfortable and I would start doing impressions. I'd do like Christopher Walken or I would do Al Pacino. I would do all these impressions in order to eat up some of that time in between the songs. And the only reason I did that is because I was like nervous and awkward. And I said it wasn't authentic. No, that was extremely authentic. I was uncomfortable. I was acting the part I was extremely uncomfortable in that position. And I knew the only way I can get through it was to say something funny, do an impression. And that was a crutch. And I realized once we started this 95 days ago, because this is 95 days, that we have these crutches that we always let get in our way. We have to figure out a way to get over them. We have to figure out a way to get around them. We have to figure out a way to throw them away and start from scratch with just your hands and your feet. And you'll crawl if you have to. You'll jump. You'll leap. You'll spin around it. But you gotta be mobile. You gotta be moving. It's the only thing you can do. That's the only thing we all can do. Keep those feet moving. That's it. I think that's it. If you can keep your feet moving, and as I said the other day, wake up with the intention of being the best person you are every day. You can't always do it, but try. And I said this earlier, sometimes, and even right this second, right now, I'm tired. It's 11, and I'm feeling beat. And so we need to build some energy right now to get me back on. I need to get back up again. Let's see. Maybe I should play a song real quick. Because that maybe gets some little energy going. And here's the thing I'm thinking too. I have this idea that my thought is that if we get through a couple songs, maybe we'll build some energy back up again. All right, Brian, I don't know what to play. Lawrence is on. I love it. Do an old one. Okay, Bri. How about you? You want to hear that one? Let me get my boy Lawrence on. See, this is crazy. Lawrence, Brian, I was just feeling drained. And all of a sudden I see Lawrence is here. I see Brian's here. I see we're getting it going now. We're gonna get a little song called You on the table. I wrote this one a very long time ago. And it should really be out there. It's a lot of fun. Check this one out. So I walk along this road, this path that you have made. Though the fall was settling, the wind began to rain, reflecting thoughts of innocence, no reason to complain. So maybe things will open up, sleep in peace, the thoughts of me and you. Oh, and this love will guide us through the nights. Our heart's love burns deeper love and deeper love. My heart seems to grow when I'm with you. All my troubles seep on down to my grave, reflecting the same old thoughts, same words. Come on, soothe my soul. Oh, I pray, love, well, won't you take my hand and outline something new? Maybe things will open up, we'll sleep in peace, the thoughts of me and you. Oh, and this time we'll sit alone in the candlelight. Wax drops drop, that burning love that binds us down. The wind blows, the wild chill when you're around, and love's the only word when I'm with you. Ooh. With you. Oh, 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 oh. Why fight it? This love feels right. Our bodies they're up as one. With you. I fight it, this love feels right. Our bodies are as they're up as one. Love for our time, and we'll say our goodbyes when I'm with you. Oh, Sometimes I have to take a 2-second moment to reflect at the end. Mina, you on? I don't know if Mina's still on. Mina, I really appreciate you've been liking my posts. It's so cool. And I appreciate all you guys. Lawrence, Brian, Mina. You guys are all great. And I really just appreciate the support. It means so much to me, especially when you're just trying to lay it out there. And the mission is just to lay it out there. That's it. No expectation, guys. I really want you to be there. But if you're not, it's just a mission message. That's it. It's a mission message to you, to the world. That song is a pretty cool song. You know, I love playing that song. It's just got such a great energy to it. Just love the vibe, you know. It's a great vibe. So, do you guys want to hear another song? Do you want to hear more real talk? What are you feeling like? Because I'm up for it tonight. It's our Friday night vlogcast. We got to get down. So if that means playing more songs for you, that's what we're going to do. If that means more real talk, that's also what we're going to do. So if nobody has any requests, because I don't know them anyway, maybe I'll play something you probably know. Ish. You probably know this one. I don't know if I know it. That's really the problem here, but let's see how it goes. I think I gotta tune this pop. Oh, definitely. Sorry, I hate the tuning thing, but it's better when you have a tuned guitar, trust me. I can tell that E was a little sharp there. It's a sharp E. You know, my glasses are doing like a weird thing where it's like glarish. So I'll just take them off, all right? I don't need to read anything right now because no one's asking me any questions. No one's asking me to play anything. So I don't even know if anyone's on. I'm just going to play a song for you. See, that sounds a lot better. It's just a tuned guitar. It sounds so much better. Everybody knows Johnny Cash. This is my version of a Johnny Cash song. Well, I hear that train a-goin', it's rolling around the bend. But I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. Well, I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, that's where I want to stay. And then people keep on moving on down to San Antone. When I was just a baby, Mama told me, son, always be a good boy, don't ever play with guns. But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die. Well, them people keep on moving on down to San Antone. All right.
Well, out of it, there's rich folks eating in their fancy dining cars, probably drinking coffee and smoking big cigars. But I know I had it coming. I know I can't be free. And then people keep a moving, and that's what tortures me.
So that's all I got for Johnny Cash there. Brad's on and Little Mark is on. Brad, I was just talking about you, buddy. I brought you up. I was talking about how excited I am that I got a buddy who's up in Nova Scotia, Canada, right by the Laguna Brothers for the Curse of Oak Island. My favorite show on the planet. And I'm jealous of the fact that you're 15 minutes away from the entrance to that road. But I got to ask you one day to like go live for me and just drive down that road. Be like, Mark, I'm live. I want to just show you the strip. Because there's that strip they show you from the aerial. And you see the drive they take to get to Oak Island. There's like a bridge. It's like, and you have to correct me if I'm wrong, Brad, but it's like this. It looks like I've got this. I named my first band The Reservoir. And you'll like this story. So... And this is just, I'll get back to the whole point of what I remember from the Curse of Oak Island. But I love, this is my favorite thing about life, is that everything leads me to a thought, a memory. And I remember when I first, I had my first band. It was called The Reservoir. And the reason I came up with that name is I considered two reasons, okay? My favorite drive when I was a writer, when I was writing music, was this reservoir that it was about 10 minutes from my house. And every time I would record a new track, I would bring my bass player with me. We'd drive in the car and we would listen to that track and we would work on our parts. I always thought that was great. Like we'd listen to the track and he'd be listening to his bass parts. I'm listening to my vocal pitch. I'm listening to the guitar, what I'm doing with the lead, everything. And I'm saying, okay, I could have done that. And we're just kind of driving. And this was our spot. We drive right by this reservoir that had this, it was like a 200-yard drive where it's water on both sides. And that's what reminds me of Curse of Oak Island, that drive. And so I remember driving out there, and when it came to naming my first band, they didn't want to go with Mark Pires Band, even though it was all my music. I'd written every song. We were playing all my music, but they did not want to. Yes, Brian knows, the one in Wilton. It is the Wilton Reservoir on Old Kingdom Road. And so basically I used to drive down and pass this reservoir like twice, 3 times a day when I was writing. And I was in between, we'd rehearse, we'd take the rehearsal, because I recorded everything. And Brian remembers. Brian used to help me record some things. We'd film. We went to a house party. It was like this really small gathering at a house in New York City. It was like not an apartment in New York City. After one of my gigs at, I think it was either the Lion's Den or CBGB's. I played one of the last shows at CBGB's, like the last week or two. I think it may have been that one. And Brian helped me film that recording. Brian, Wall Street. Do you remember, Brian? Where did I play that night? Was it CBGB's that night, or did I play at Lion's Den? I don't remember. I mean, it's been so long since I used to perform, but yeah, it was CBGB. Okay. And I've got actually a recording. My wife and I just started dating at the last show, I think, where I had her do this very similar to what we're doing now. Like I just had her film me as I was walking into my last show at CBGB, and it was a cool venue. I used to love playing that place because the sound was phenomenal. The guitar would just pound through the speakers. And I used to do this whole live looping show. And you guys don't understand why this GigBox is so important, because when I was doing my live looping show, I didn't have this. So I'm doing all this stuff and I wasn't able to do this with my feet. If I was able to do that, it would have been a rap, guys. It would have been a rap. I was doing this. Or I was going, and I'm a terrible beatboxer. So you got all this cool stuff going on with the pedals and live looping and then beatboxing when I could have just been. So the GigBox just gives you so much that it just never was possible before. And it's a really fun thing to play. Brian knows. Brian plays a GigBox. Plays Kaya's GigBox. My little sweet Kaya. And it's really a lot of fun to play. It builds energy. It connects you to the most important thing in life, the earth. Your feet are on the ground and you're feeling everything generate through your body. It's a very primitive experience playing the GigBox. Being able to sit on it and feel everything you do through your body is an experience I never really uncovered until we started focusing on the autism spectrum. Anyone on the spectrum should be looking at the GigBox, because I just actually today sat down at Harbor Lights in Fairfield and I played for two or three kindergarten classes. And I sat down with a bunch of GigBoxes, and the kids took turns sitting on a GigBox while I sat there and I played a song I wrote called The Alphabet Song, which is basically the alphabet song, but I'm going to play it for you guys because it's my version of it and it should go viral because it's a really cool version of the alphabet song. So basically this is what I played for them, and each of them came up and played along on a GigBox as well. But this is my version of the alphabet song, which you may have seen already. I realize it's on my website from the GigBox website. Anyway, this is it. It actually sounds a little bit like Folsom Blues now that I think about it.
Sing the alphabet song. Alphabet song. Alphabet song. Alphabet song. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, yeah, W, X, Y, and Z, yeah, knowing my ABCs. Won't you come and sing with me? We'll sing the alphabet song, the alphabet song, alphabet song. Oh, A for apple, we got B for basketball, got C for crocodiles, D 'cause they're dangerous, E for everybody, F make fast friends, G for good times, and H for hilarious, I for I don't know, J for just because, K gonna keep on coming, L we're laughing out loud, and 'cause no one's better, oh my Oliver, and P we're playing ping pong, Q for quiet time, R for my rockin' Rosie, S for silly Sam, and T playing a tic-tac-toe, U for understanding, V for victory, W for wild west, yeah, X for xylophone, Y for yesterday, Z for zebras and zing zang zibbity doo. We'll sing the alphabet song, alphabet song.
Let's go one more time.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Yeah, now I know my ABC. Well, won't you come and sing with me? We'll sing the alphabet song, the alphabet song, alphabet song. We got A for apple, we got B for basketball, got C for crocodiles, D 'cause they're dangerous, E for everybody, F big fast friends, G for good times, and H for hilarious, I for I don't know. J just because. K for little Kaya. L where I laughing out loud. M for mommies. N cause no one's better. Oh my Oliver. P where I playing ping pong. Q for quiet time. R for my rockin' Rosie. S for silly Sam and T playing tic-tac-toe. U for understanding. V for victory. W for winning. X for xylophone. Y for yesterday. Z for zebras and zing zang zibbity doo dah. We'll sing the alphabet song. Alphabet song. We'll sing the alphabet song.
So that's my version of the alphabet song that I played today at the kindergartens with the GigBox. Hacker RBJ, what's up, buddy? What's your name? I got to know your name because we are on a name show here. We go by first names, and I appreciate that you're on, my friend. Bri, first time through, I'm just so used to playing those lyrics, and then I was thinking to myself, keep on coming. I'm like, what? This is Kaya's. We got to get Kaya in there, you know? And, it made me so happy when you sent the video, when she was touched by that little clip we put on for her that day. And that just meant the world when I saw how she's just the light. She's such a light. And, I find, here's something I want to share with you guys that I feel like is very important in life. You could either be optimistic or pessimistic. That's it. There's two options, positive or negative. Everything in life is the same to you. Brad, my man, what's up? Oh. Okay, so in your life, you have two options. And whatever you're faced with in life, there's two options. You can go at it optimistic or pessimistically. And, that is the true test of character, is when you're up against it. And when you could remain optimistic and when you could be a light and you could be a force that is to be reckoned with. That is just what it needs to be. You have to be that way. You've got to let that spirit just shine through you. And you know what? When I see that, and like I said, I'm not making this specific, I'm just saying in general, and I think that people out there that are watching will know what I'm saying. But in general, you've got to let that light guide you. I keep saying, and when I see that, that light that was coming back at me, man, it was like the fight is what I'm talking about in life. If you could be optimistic about any fight, anything that you're up against in this world, that is how you do it. That is how you do it. And I've seen it over and over again. The people that give up on themselves, the people that don't believe that there's an opportunity to prevail. That's when they don't prevail. It's the ones that go through, like Meredith said today, she goes, when you do an affirmation, and it's not that I hope I don't get, or I don't want this to happen. You say, I am healthy. I am strong. I am a good life coach, which was her affirmation. I'm in touch with the power of the universe. I'm connected to the power of the universe. I'm like, wow, that I love, That is it, my friend. And I know, and like I said, when I see that light, I see how you're doing everything the way that's the only option. The only option is the way you are, which is proud, strong, and just ready to go at it and say, okay, what do you need me to do? Because I believe. And that's what life is about, guys, is always believing. Believe in yourself. Believe in this thing inside of you that's telling you to fight and to keep going. And you're going to keep going because that is what your mind is telling you to do. Your heart is telling you to keep going and that you're not going to give up. Giving up is where it ends. And you can't ever do that. You've got to be believing that this is the only thing, is the positivity that you could bring to the table. And it can change things. It can. And you could read studies about that. the positivity and how it changes. And something Meredith brought up today that I had no idea about. And I want you guys to listen to this podcast to hear what she said. There is a scientist out there who studied water under a microscope. And when he spoke to the water, I'm going to say this again. When he spoke to the water, it responded under a microscope, and it would, all the lines or whatever it was, it would line up parallel, and it was in unison. Okay. And whenever he would speak negatively towards that same water, it would be like disjointed. The water molecules would be disjointed from hearing his energy. And when I told you guys the other day that Isma, and I don't think she's on right now, but when Isma comes on here, she does not speak English and I don't speak Spanish, but we have a connection that is not about words. It's about an energy. And at the end of the day, I want you guys to realize you have that same power. We all have that power within us, and we're afraid to unleash it on the universe. But that is how we get connected to each other. That's how we get connected to the universe. And our job is to be connected to this universe. I can, I will, I must. And you know what? I like that, Brad. Check back a couple days ago. My quote was very similar to that. It was see it, believe it, become it. And that's what I live by. You have to see it. You have to see your opportunities. You have to believe that you are everything that those opportunities need you to be, and you have to become it. You have to just become everything that you have been born to be. And that's my quote. So, I'm thinking back, like I was telling you guys the other day, please go back on my Instagram page and look at the last 60 posts, 70 posts, because they came in the last week. Like I went nuts, and I was just dropping let me just put this down for a second. I was dropping 12 quotes a day. Not quotes, but 12 clips and quotes a day. So I was doing 6 and 6. And this all came about because for a while I was sitting there just dropping video after video for the first 2.5 months. And I started saying to myself, these words are coming. Sometimes I'm not getting the views. I'll get 25, 30 people see a video. So I'm saying these words are not being heard. We have to find another way. I'm seeing people with these quotes, and I'm seeing they're using Thomas Edison and Abraham Lincoln. And I'm saying, well, look, everything's been said before, but I've got all these passionate thoughts that I've always just had come out of me. And so I just put the first one out. And I think the first one is you have the power of the sun within you. And that's one of my things for Real Talk. It's true. Each of us has the power of the sun within us. And just think about how enormous the sun is and how strong and powerful that feels on your skin every time you go out there midsummer. You have that power within you. And I think that the problem is we don't know how to connect to all that power. And the ones that do, like myself, I think we understand how powerful it is. And we also understand that you have to be aware of other people's ability to drain that from you. Oh, Brian, I love you, my friend. You're the man. Listen, I'm not ever going anywhere for you, brother. I'll be here for you every single day. And please give Kaya a big hug and kiss from me. And please play her that alphabet song. That was for her. And, just that smile, just give her a big hug and kiss from me. All right. And, so Bright, you're the man. Brad. So basically, all these quotes have just been coming out of me, just like I said, like the tap. Like I just turn on the water and they're just, whew. And I'm not going to stop doing that. Although I owe you one right now. I actually owe you guys. I think I owe you a quote. So I'm going to work on that later. But they're just a piece of me. And sometimes it's not even something I'm coming out with. I'll take a song, the song I just played for you, or I played my, you may have missed it, Brad, but I played a song I wrote called You. And I could very easily take something from that song and just drop it on you. And you'd be like, there are a few lines in that song that, and although the wind was settling, I wish I could, I never can remember my lyrics just by just going right into them. You have to almost start from the top and roll down to it. It's a really weird thing. But in general, also, when you have over 120 songs, you're kind of trying to reflect on what songs were which and which lyrics you're talking about in the moment. Brad, you're the man. So, Brad, I appreciate you, brother. I also appreciate the Curse of Oak Island. Favorite show in the world. Loving it. And I have to catch up because the other day I kind of logged off. It looked like they went on strike. And I was catching up on that late in the day. I hope they get through that. I want them to get something done this summer. Anyway, so I'm still here for you. You know, on Friday and Saturdays, we go vlogcast style, and we get the guitar out, we get the GigBox going. So, Brad, you know what my invention is? Have you seen what the GigBox can do yet, Brad? Did you check out? I saw you liked some of the videos over there, but did you get an idea of what the GigBox is, or are you just hearing the music? Because I want to know if you want to get a little demo of what the GigBox is. I'll tell you very quickly, because I thought I saw. Oh no, you know what? This is when I talked to. Where did I see a guitar the other day? Adam. When Adam was on, he had a guild behind him, and I only noticed that because he was frozen when I was on with him the other day. When I was on with you too, Brad. It was frozen on my screen, but thank goodness by the art of Instagram, it saved as a perfect clip, which I'm gonna drop. I'm thinking about dropping that whole session we had, Brad, onto a podcast. I'm going to probably throw it on YouTube as well. You know, this is all content for the world, my friends. So when you come on with me, it's going to be a part of history. And we did that the other day, getting you on, talking about the Curse of Oak Island. All right, you said you want a demo. I'm going to give it to you right now. Okay, so basically, I want to just tell you what happened with the GigBox when I first invented it. Back here. So check this out. When I invented this thing, it was for me. It was so I could sound like a band alone, like you see here. I wanted to be able to just play my guitar, and I didn't want to compromise what I was doing on the guitar. So the first thing I needed to do was be able to sit on something comfortably. Now, the cajon, which is like the thing everybody plays right now, they all have the cajon. You sit, first of all, like in front, so it's underneath you. So the only way to get to it is you have to bend over and play like this, which is very uncomfortable. The GigBox, you could sit completely upright. Okay, now I'm just going to keep my hands right here. I want you to see, because you actually heard with the guitar anyway, but I keep my hands right here. I could get a bass. That's kicking on one side, my left foot here, which looks right to you, but it's left. And then here's my right foot. It's the snare. Ready? Listen to this. I'm bringing my left foot away. So you have kick and snare. Listen to this. So one of the best things about the bass on this thing is it is enormous. This room is shaking. I don't know if you can hear that. The whole shake. That's like the room shaking right now. Do you hear that rattle? That's because this bass is like pounding. Now, if any of you happen to either have headphones on, or if you throw this through your Bluetooth in the car, you're going to be like, what? Because the bass is such a low shelf on this thing. You're like, what? So that's the bass. You got the kick and snare. Let's see. Oh, my man, Adam. Adam, we were just talking about you. And I was saying how I saw a guild behind you. And I got a guild. And I got Martin here. And I got all kinds of other things. But we're going to play a song for you, my friend, because now that I know you play guitar, I got to hit you with something. But right now, I'm giving you guys a demo of my invention, my patented invention, the GigBox. And I invented and patented this thing. I invented it in 2011, and then it took me 5 years to get the patent, and I didn't really do anything for about a year or so because real estate wasn't terrible, and then it got terrible, and then in April of last year, and this came up in my podcast today, Adam, you got to check out the podcast from today. I had Meredith Coburn on, go to Meredith. She's a life coach, and she's a very good friend of mine, and she usually is like, we have dinners together. When we do, we just build this positivity. And so I had her on today, and it's the most electric 55 minutes or 52 minutes so far, I think, for my podcast, where we were just building this whole thing the whole way. And it's right down all of our alleys. Everything that she was saying is everything the Real Talk show represents. And she was hitting us with some new things. She was talking about affirmations. She was talking about vision boards. She talked about doing a vision box for the GigBox, which I thought was a brilliant idea. Imagine if I built a vision board on my GigBox, all of the panels, and maybe past, present, future, and where I expect or where I'm seeing this show go. And she said, you need to keep telling yourself every day. And this is something I want to tell you, Brad, because we were talking about this. You asked, how do you stay above the negativity? And when you're not broadcasting to a crowd yet, and you're trying to put this out there to the world, but you're not really reaching the world, how do you just get above that? And the law of attraction, my friend, that's right. And the key is consistency, but also the idea I've heard today saying affirmations and laying out to the universe that, this is going to continue to grow and people are going to find the positivity and you're going to get more people to watch and follow. But it's not about that now. What it's about is leaving your messages for history. That's what you're here to do. That's what I'm here to do. And that's why every day I'll come on. And whether it's the three of us or it's 0 people watching me, I'm going to put it all on the table for you. And so, I'll tell you what, I went quickly through it just to make sure. We had 3 calls come in. And what happens with my podcast, the way this works, if I'm just recording audio especially, if someone calls, it will shut off the video. And I think that may happen here actually too when I'm live, where the video just cuts out because someone called. So 3 times, because this was a midday recording, we had calls. So I had to restart the podcast. So I had to lay it into my audio. I had to basically just clip all 3 together. And I'll tell you, it was just an electric podcast. And now I can't wait to do that more. Just get more people in. I call it interview with a life coach. Like, it was just a pun, an interview with a vampire. But it was pretty cool. And I picked up a lot of stuff from Meredith, a lot of stuff I'm not doing right now. And I'm going to start incorporating it. And that's why I love checking out Adam's stuff and Brad, and checking out Luke and checking out Gary V. I look at everybody because you're going to gather something. You're going to think of something, or it's going to make you think of something else you weren't thinking of. And that's actually where I go. Like, I don't really necessarily take anything from other people's content. What I do is it will trigger a memory of mine. Like today, for example, Meredith had mentioned something about how, I'm sure you have had somebody before in your life that, just was such a bad person. You just wanted to push him out of your life. And, I just thought of this kid in high school who wronged me and my best friends. And we treated him like family. And he went out of his way to basically just stomp on me. Luke, my man, Luke is in the house. And this dude went on and stomped all over me. And at first, my friends and I, we took him back and we said, what are you doing? We heard from these people that you're saying this about us and that about us. And that's not us at all. We want to get along with everybody. And the only way I knew this is one of my best friends and I, who are positive lights. And I remember this guy, I haven't seen him in 20 years, but he was such a positive guy, Jermaine. And he and I hung out. We went to Darien and we'd go to these parties, and whenever we'd go around people, just like I am in real life, my immediate reaction is when you smile at someone, you're going to receive a smile back. You're going to connect on that human plane. I keep saying the primal plane is where we need to get back to. We need to get rid of all of this intelligence that we've put in our heads over the last 5,000 years. We need to get back to the primal urge of giving to each other and finding ourselves when we do that. And I know that's what it is at day 95 in a row. That when you give the world your spirit grows twice as powerful. And it only happens when you unleash your love on everyone else. It's eye-opening. And it's addicting when you do it. And I think Luke is going to come back and be like, yep. It's addicting when you help somebody. I said the long-term release, the endorphin release of affecting someone in a positive way. And I don't know this for certain because I'm not one of these guys, but the endorphin release of helping someone in a positive way is much more fulfilling than the monetary reward. And like I said, I don't know yet how great it feels to be monetarily rewarded to a point where you're just like, okay, I'm set. I don't know, but I do know how it feels to change someone's life. I do know how it feels to have someone say to you, I was feeling this way, But after I heard you, or after you spoke to me, I'm feeling this way. And thank you. And when you hear that, and when Luke gets on with someone, and when Brad gets on with someone, and Adam gets on and they start asking people, what do you need? And the answer just comes naturally out of you because it's so ingrained in you to let the truth speak and breathe. It's the only way that you get your power. The moment you start hiding and cowering in the corner and lying to the world is when you become that person in the corner. You get one shot. It's funny how they say you have that first impression. That's with everything in life. And I don't know where, they call it, some people say chutzpah is like a word, when you got the urge, just go out there and just be you. Yeah, that guy's got chutzpah. I've heard that before. I just call it being real. It's real talk. My entire life has become real talk. And I loved the other day I popped onto Luke's live real talk or Luke's mind power. And I saw his hat and I'm like, dude, this dude is living it. And you've got to live it. You've got to see it, believe it, become it. And that's what life is about. And I continue. And this is what I want to just roll back to. We talked about this before, Brad. These quotes that I've been coming out with, though I came out with 50,000 of them in a 1 week period, 2 week period. I mean, like I said, look back at my 60 or 70 last posts. They were from the last week. And there's some jewels in there. Like I just went through today because I was trying to see, okay, how many views did I have? And Luke killed it as usual. When I go back and look at all that content that I dropped in that short period of time where I was trying to build followers, I was like, okay, I need to just blitz the market. I don't know I'm just a guy with content. And so I look back at all these great clips like, oh, dude, I only have 2 minutes left. I already did an hour here. Are you kidding me? Anyway, I look back at these clips and I can't believe I just did an hour. This is insane. So I got to finish doing my demo real quick. This is my patented invention, the GigBox. The GigBox is the first drum in the world you can play with your hands and feet. And it's called Omnitone. Listen to this. You could hear everywhere you hit it sounds different. Are you kidding me? Omnitone. So I'm going to be off in 1 minute and 17 seconds, guys. But I do want to tell you how much I appreciate you. And who wants to go over to the GigBox Star channel and I'll keep going? Who's up for that? If you don't follow me, and I know, Brad, you're following me over there now. Luke, I don't know if you checked me out over there on GigBox Star. GigBox Star. Head over there because in 58 seconds I'm going there. Because you just popped on, my friend, and I'm not done. As soon as I see Luke getting on, I just get energized. And I'm like, okay, I got another hour in me. So if anybody wants to go on, I'm going to GigBox Star. I know it's getting late over here in the U.S., but I'm going. It's time, guys. 40 seconds left. I like to do the countdown with you. I got to tell you, I can't believe we did an hour here. And I did roughly maybe 20 minutes over on Facebook already. But my favorite is the weekends because we just let it fly. We just let it fly. And there's nothing better, my friends. So I really appreciate you. Go to GigBox Star. I'm going to head over there in 12 seconds, 11, 10. I'll be over there, guys. GigBox Star. We're going to get some GigBox going. I'm going to play some more songs. We're going to do some real talk. And I'll see you in a few minutes.